Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. A little bit of a different scenery. You'll have seen this I think in a previous video where I just ended off another video. My household is currently full, so I thought I'd come down to the beach, go for a walk, and then film these little clips that I need to film. I'm sorry if the sound is also bad. I forgot my mics at home and I am sweating as well. I thought I'd introduce this week's video. This is a little bit different and I thought I'd just add some challenges in because I'm getting bored of the themed videos. This week we're gonna be reading a page for every time I pick up my phone. So if you don't know, I have a Samsung and we have something called Samsung Wellbeing, I think it's called, and it's like on iPhone where they give you your screen time. So at the bottom you'll see, okay, so I spent last week Thursday, I spent a total of 4 hours and 45 minutes on my phone, which we're not going to be reading for. I got 73 notifications, and then at the bottom it shows you every single time you unlocked a phone. Sorry, my phone screen is cracked. So that means today we will be reading 39 pages. I definitely will read more than that, but this is the bare minimum that we need to do. So the current book I'm reading, I started it yesterday because yesterday I didn't have a video going on and it was a really nice sunny day, so I decided to sit outside in the sun and just read, and I made it really far. This is a library book and I am currently on page 236. I'm in the middle of a chapter because I just got back from my doctor's appointment and I was reading it in the waiting room, but I'm on page 236, chapter 38, so I've made it quite far in. So what we're reading is Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls. This is a YA thriller. YA thrillers are so easy to read, and this is on the higher end of YA. They're like almost 18. It's definitely on the higher side and they swear and do adult things. But it's very interesting. I'm having such a good time. We follow our main female character June, who has kind of fallen out with her best friend over the last year due to a boy, as it sometimes goes, especially in high school. A year later, her best friend turns up dead and there's rumors that she committed suicide. So she's on a quest to find out what happened. She can't imagine her best friend doing it because she was so she just had a spark and a fire under her and she had this passion for life and she couldn't imagine her best friend having killed herself. So basically rallying troops and trying to figure out what happened to her because she can't understand. She finds out some things about her boyfriend, and her boyfriend had some kind of connection or communication with her best friend, so she's literally just accusing everyone. It kind of reminds me of the book All That's Left Is Dead by Emery Lord that I read earlier on this year, but written so much better and less verbose. So I'm having a good time. I'm almost done. I'm I want to say 80% through this. Sorry, the lighting's changing. We're going to continue reading this. I'm going to go on my walk now. We'll come back and read my 39 page. Good morning everyone. So it's the next day and I finished my reading yesterday. I actually finished the book. So I was reading Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls. I did my 39 pages, which took us to 275, and then I only had a few pages left, so I ended up finishing it. And I think I'm going to give this book a 3.75. I really did like it. However, I didn't enjoy the ending because it's open-ended, and as you know, or if you don't know, that's the worst for me. I hate having to come up with my own ending when they can just tell me how it's supposed to end. So I didn't love that, but I did like the story as a whole. I think the title is a little bit misleading because it says Beautiful Girls, which should be plural, but it's not really. So I don't know how to describe this book. It was a thriller / mystery, but I don't know what was real and what wasn't. There was a lot of gaslighting, a lot of manipulation from one of the characters called Delia, who's June's ex-best friend, and I just found it really strange. It was strange, but really interesting, and it kept me going. I finished this in less than 2 days, basically in a 24-hour period. Very happy about that. So today I already pulled it up. We have, let's see if we can focus. We have 68 unlocked, so that means 68 pages. So the book that we will be starting today is These Infinite Threads by Tahera Malfi. I'm kind of using this video as a like mood reading, just so that I can get more books done that I want to. But today is Friday, so as you know, a lot goes on with me on a Friday. Well, mostly, or sometimes, I don't know, I can't speak. Today I need to go to another doctor's appointment. I went yesterday to have my bloods taken, but today I need to submit a urine sample, so I'm going off to do that, and then probably just hang out with my dad. And then tonight we have dinner with my mom and dad. So yeah, I don't know how much I'm gonna get read, but definitely will aim for 68 pages, which is easy because I've just started this book, so I'll just have to go to page 68. Tomorrow I also have go to like a barbecue with my cousin, or at my cousin, so I don't know how much we'll be able to read then either, but we'll see tomorrow morning how much we can have done, because I only need to be there in the afternoon, so I can use the morning for reading. I'm very excited. This is the sequel to The Swerving Kingdom, which I didn't like the first time I read it, but upon my reread, which always happens actually, I really enjoyed it, and I had such a good time. I couldn't wait to pick this up. This is also like one of the oldest books I have on my TBR at the moment here in South Africa. I do have a few more books in the UK. I think my oldest book there is Kerry Soto. I'm very excited to start this. I want to know what happens next, because the previous book ended on a huge cliffhanger. Good morning, guys. I look rough. I look so rough because I feel rough. I had probably one glass too many of, I can't even speak, one too many glasses of wine last night. I didn't sleep well. Woke up at like 3:34 and then didn't go back to sleep until like 6. There's a lot going on in my personal life, so I'm pretty sure that contributed to it, and it's also why I probably had that extra glass of wine. I just wanted to shut my brain down. It's just my coping mechanism. I didn't complete our reading yesterday because, like I said, I went out for lunch with my dad. Not really lunch, it was more like a snack. I just had some sushi and a couple of glasses of rosé, and then we came back here, watched Stranger Things, and then we went out for dinner. So not great. I read up to page, I used a receipt as a bookmark as well. So I read up to page 10. I'm still on chapter 1. Let me just get a proper bookmark. I read a little bit of chapter 1, which was basically a recap of what happened at the end of The Swerving Kingdom. It's still good. Like, I did roll my eyes a couple times at the words she uses, because I forget that she likes to embellish. Well, at least in this series. Our goal was 68, which I am actually going to roll over onto today, because today's unlocks were, well, last week, this is all from the week before, I unlocked my phone 60 times, so we'll read about 120 pages today. However, let's see if we can do this, because I am going to my cousin's today for a little barbecue. Don't know how much I'm gonna get read. I don't feel like moving right now. I thought I'd get all my medical results today, but I'm only getting it probably Monday, so I'll have to wait for that anyway. So there's no point in stressing about something that's not happened yet. But if you've ever had medical tests done, it's always quite scary, especially after my diabetes diagnosis, because that came out of nowhere. And what's wrong, I don't know if there's anything wrong with me now, but I obviously ordered more tests to be done. So yeah, I'm not feeling great about it mentally, and I've just recovered from a really bad depressive episode. I want to say it's not medically diagnosed, but I know myself, I was like, for a month and a bit I was in a very dark place. That's why you'll be able to tell in my videos probably. I just want to be transparent as well, since I am documenting my journey with reading, and it kind of correlates into my real life and is why I read for escapism. But yeah, I'm rambling now. I'm watching a YouTube video. I think I might sit outside for a bit before I jump in the shower and get some pages done. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, I will read a few pages before I jump in the shower, and then I'll finish what we need to read tonight. So we need to get to page 130. That's a lot of pages. Why do I do this to myself? And 130 is in the middle of a chapter, so I'll probably have to finish that chapter. So 139, that's a big chunk of the book I need to read. I just doggy at the page, but that's how much I need to read today. We'll see. Hi everyone. So bad news, I failed yesterday. I didn't read a single thing, not one single thing yesterday, but I did finish my reading for Friday and Saturday, because I combined those 2 days because I read so little on Friday. So yesterday was a fail, but we're moving on. I'm currently on chapter 11, page 141. I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, I'm not. I feel like the first time I read the first book, like the information's going in, but I'm not actually feeling anything. What just happened in the last bit of the last chapter was interesting, but I still just feel kind of meh about it. It's neither here nor there. It's kind of just middle of the road. So yeah, I don't know if I explained what this Woven Kingdom was about. I have other videos on it, but this Woven Kingdom follows basically a lost heir, and she was orphaned when she was 12, so she's kind of just trying to survive. So she's become a maid, and on the side she does like the seamstress stuff, but she comes from a line of people called Jinn, where they have magic abilities, and the normal humans, who they call clays, they're trying to eradicate Jinns because they obviously are more powerful than them, and it scares them and puts their kingdom at jeopardy. Elisa, her name's Elisa, she meets the prince. His name is Kamran. They have an encounter, and he suspects that something funny is going on with her. He initially thinks that she's a spy. Through doing all this investigation, they find out that there's a prophecy about her, and the story goes on from there. There are dragons in it, which is quite cool to see because there's actually many dragons, not just like one, and it's quite cool. They don't obviously have personalities like they do in like Fourth Wing, but it's still pretty cool to read about. We just continued on where this Woven Kingdom ended off, and we go in initially in Kamran's point of view. So we basically get the last chapter of this Woven Kingdom, but in Kamran's point of view. So it's just like a recap of what happened. But other than that, I'm having an okay time, but I really just wanted to get this off my TBR because it's just staring at me there, and it's one of the oldest books I have that is on my shelf. And actually I just restocked my TBR up quite a lot, so I want to get through these books that have just been sitting. So for today, our reading time, or our reading pages, is 63. As you can see, I don't use my phone very often anymore since I've given myself a like hiatus off like all social media. It's gone on for most of this year, so that's why my screen time isn't that high either. Not that it's relevant, but like today my screen time is 44 minutes and it's almost 1 o'clock. I don't spend that much time on my phone. Actually, last week Monday I was on my phone for a total of 4 hours and 49 minutes, but I was also recording a vlog, so I was using my phone for that, and I was recording some Instagram. Yeah, I was video recording some Instagram stuff. So it says on my videos, my video app, I spent 2 hours and 31 minutes. On my images, I spent 15 minutes, and on social media, I spent 1 hour and 42 minutes, which isn't a lot at all. And that's usually Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two ones I use mostly. I try not to go on TikTok. Like I said, I no longer post on there either. Maybe that will change when some circumstances change in my life, but right now I'm completely just off it. But anyway, so 63 pages again today. So that will take us to, let me do the math. I cannot count. So we're on 141 plus 63 should take us to page 204. I'm gonna make a little mark. So 204 is actually in the middle of a chapter, but it's fine. I'll just finish that chapter if I can. So that will take us to 213. I don't know how long this video will still carry on because I started it Thursday, so probably till Thursday, which will definitely give us time to finish this book. Now I'm going to just go edit a video and then have some lunch, and then I'm going to sit outside and read for a bit because it is a sunnier day. It's the 1st of September, spring. You won't see this on the 1st of September, but you'll probably see it in October because I pre-film quite a bit. But it's the 1st of September, the weather's heating up. There's not much rain forecasted in the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to enjoy most of my time outside. Hi everyone, so it's obviously the next day. I hope my mic isn't doing something funny, but it is the next day and I completed my reading. So we got to page 215 and we're at chapter 17 now. So we're making good way through this book. I think I'm just over 50% now, so probably like 55%. Today's reading is going to be 54 pages, as you can see there. I haven't screenshotted every day, so I hope you'll be able to see that, but I'll try and insert screenshots as well. So the book is getting more interesting, but I'm finding, let me tilt this down a little bit. There we go. But I'm finding that the main female character, Elisa, she's like going through this whole thing, which happened at the end of this Woven Kingdom. I'm finding her point of view a little bit tedious and boring. Like, I feel like her thought processes are just all over the place and I don't understand it. She's being super naive, and I mean, she's lived on the streets since she was like 13 years old, so surely she should make better decisions, but she's very impulsive and very emotionally driven, so I feel like she makes stupid mistakes. But the main male character, Cameron, his side of things are much more interesting now because he just went through something really, really traumatic, found out some hectic secrets about his lineage and his family, so he's going through it. Hazan, he's currently my favorite character. He's just a side character. I mean, finding out things about him, I don't know if you could see on the footage last night because it was quite bad lighting because I was reading with my reading light, but I was so shocked when I found out a detail about him. Like, it should have been obvious, but I didn't think about it, and yeah, I was shocked, and I'm loving his side of things, so I'm literally flying through it. I haven't felt myself like want to pick the book up while I'm not reading, so I read, like I told you, like 2 hours before bed at night. I don't know if I said it in this video, but I do read 2 hours before bed at night, so I usually read from like 9 till 11 or from 10 till midnight depending on the day. But it seems to be quite warm-ish outside, so I think I'm going to sit in the sun and read for an hour, which should get me like 30 something pages done, maybe 40 if we're lucky. But yeah, I'm just rambling now. I'm going to continue. As you can see, I don't know if you can actually see, I've tabbed a bit. Hazan and Cameron's conversations are so funny, so I can't help but highlight them. So I don't want to spoil the book for you, so I don't want to read anything to you, but yeah, if you do read the back of the book, you'll get the gist of it, but it is a spoiler for the first book. Would I recommend the series so far? I think it's very specific. Like, if you like more, like, it's kind of Regency but not Regency because it's Persian mythology, so it's like a lot of, like, if you've been to Turkey or whatever, you'll understand what they're talking about, but if you haven't been to any like Islamic state, you wouldn't really know, I guess. But yeah, I've been to Dubai, Abu Dhabi. I haven't really been to Turkey, but I kind of get like those kind of vibes from it. So yeah, very good. It's at some points very boring, and I don't know, I feel like the Shatter Me series is better, but this reads more pretentious, I want to say. They use like bigger words, they use different words because it's like in a Regency era, so it matches the tone of the book. But for me, I just sometimes feel like it's a little bit much. Like, don't judge me, but when I was reading it on the weekend, I came across the word sedacious, and I was like, what the hell is that? So I showed my mom, and she's really normally like my dictionary, and she was like, what? So she thought it meant seductive, but it's actually like kind of rebellious. So yeah, it was weird. So I'm learning things, but I mean, I don't always have time to look up things, so I just skim over them most of the time. But anyway, I've been talking for 5 minutes. I'm gonna keep reading. I have 54 pages for today. Hopefully we can finish them and then continue this on tomorrow. We have 2 more days after this, so hopefully we can finish this book by then. Sorry I look like a mess, but I finished my reading for yesterday. I actually read a little bit more. I think I read like maybe 2 more chapters. I'm currently on page 305, chapter 24. I have that much left, so not much. I might actually finish this today. Our reading time for today is 62 pages. Our reading amount is 62 pages for today, so it should be fairly easy. That'll take me about an hour and a half to read, but 60 pages will take us to, it'll take us to a middle of a chapter again, so it will take us to 367, and the chapter ends at the long chapter. Chapter ends at I don't know if you'll even be able to say 338, and then I'll only have this much left, which is only like 20 pages, maybe less. So I think I might just finish this book today. Fingers crossed. 62 pages. I don't have much more to say about the book. I'll update you when I finish it. We have 1 more day, which is tomorrow, so I might pick something up on my Kindle or something that I'm in the middle of. But yeah, that's the update for this morning because I just want to do my morning reading. It is currently like 9:30, so I have my morning reading to do still, so I thought I'd just do this so I could do my morning reading without doing any extra pages. But yeah, let's go ahead and finish this. Good morning, friends. So same position as I was yesterday when I checked in, because it's still early in the morning, pretty early. It's 9:30. I've done like my little morning routine, but I still need to do my hour of reading, which I do normally before I get up and get my day started. So last night we finished These Infinite Threads by Tahira Mafi. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, like the first 100 pages, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. I felt like I did when I read This Woven Kingdom. I fear my opinion changed because I got giddy and excited because somehow this now involves a love triangle. I won't tell you with who, obviously you need to read the book, but it's kind of now moved into a love triangle where our main female character Elisa is conflicted of her feelings between two men. It is YA, but it does give hints of sexual deviance, shall we say, but it's never done, and it's just kind of glossed over, but it is implied. There's two storylines now in this book because they are separated, so in two different countries basically. It's interesting and it's fun, and it has dragons, but in the grand scheme of things, not a lot happens in this book. You're kind of just getting to know the characters and what led them to where they are right now and what makes them tick, like especially the two male characters. Elisa we kind of know because of the first book, her history and whatever, but this is exploring more about the two male characters, which I really enjoyed. Like I said, my new favorite character is definitely Hazan. Towards the end of the book, his character dropped down a little bit and he wasn't spoken about, or he wasn't on page as much as I would have liked, but I did really enjoy his character. I'm confused by both Elisa and Cameron's characters because they say one thing and they act another, which kind of leads you to believe that they have this internal turmoil because it is kind of a forbidden love, because they're kind of different. I'm saying kind of a lot, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. They are different species or different races, so it does talk a lot about like classism and judging people on what they have and their background, so it does cover a lot on that as well, but being in like Persian mythology or Persian fantasy, which is very interesting because I've never read anything like it, and I did have fun. So I think for this book I'm going to settle on a 4-star as well. So very good, very excited that I finished it. And then, as I said yesterday, I would start like a Kindle book, but I actually started the last book in this Woven Kingdom series. It's called something else, I think, this series together. I saw it somewhere. I can't remember what it was called, so I just called it this Woven Kingdom trilogy. So this is the last book, which is called All This Twisted Glory. This is my favorite cover out of the three. I don't know if it's focusing. Look how gorgeous that cover is. I just love the color scheme, the moon phases, the little cherry blossoms. I think it's very aesthetic. I got this book like as soon as it came out, even though I hadn't read the two books prior to it, so I'm really glad I did. I made it to chapter 4, page 37 last night, so that is where I am. So far, written as if it's been published like years apart, because the first 4 chapters that I just read was just recap, kind of where they are, where the last book left off, but it kind of moves slightly ahead. So where it ended off, it's like, I want to say a few hours later. I don't think it's a day later. I think it's a few hours later, and it just picks up from there, and it does give you a little bit of backstory about what happened in the previous book or towards the end of the previous book. So far, no feelings are being had, but I'm really excited to see where this book ends, because like I said, not a lot happens in this book. It kind of just sets it up for this book. I was hoping we'd get some answers in this, but we didn't. We have to read the last book. So I probably won't finish this book in this video. I might just end off with my review on this. I'm not sure because today we have it's our last day. It's our very last day, but today we have the most amount of pages we've had to read all week, which is 88 pages. So I unlocked my phone 88 times last week. I don't know for what reason I did that. I do know, because I went for my blood tests and stuff, didn't I? Yeah, I went for like a doctor's appointment. I did a bunch of blood tests and stuff, so probably that is the reason. 88 times is a lot for me because I try not to use my phone unless my husband is speaking to me on WhatsApp. So I usually use my laptop if I'm editing. I have WhatsApp on there, so it wouldn't count as an unlock. But anyway, 88 pages. Let me see. I don't know how far that will get us, and my battery is going to die as well. So if I don't tell you right now, I'll come back later once my thing is charged. So we are on 37 plus 88 will take us to 125 125 pages. So we have 125 pages. We'll see. 125, we have 88 pages. Will take us to 125 pages. So we'll see. I'll probably read a bit more, hopefully, but we'll have to wait and see. It's really cloudy today, but it's supposed to be warm, so maybe I'll read outside. But I also have a lot of editing and other little bits to do today. But let's see. I'm gonna have an hour of reading now, and then I will check in with you guys tomorrow to let you know if I finished my pages and got to my goal. Hello everyone, long time no speak. Honestly, the last time I checked in with you guys was probably last week Thursday when it was our final day. I didn't finish my reading that day, but I did since finish the book. Today is Wednesday, so it's been a few days since then, almost a week actually. I had a really busy weekend and I didn't have any time to read at all. I think I maybe read a page, but then I was very cutely interrupted by my niece because she spent the weekend with us, so obviously we had a lot going on. But I have since finished all this Twisted Glory. I don't know why the name of this book always trips me up, but I can never say it without looking at it. This is by Tahira Mafi, as you know, or as I discussed. It is the sequel to These Infinite Threads, and both these are the sequels to This Woven Kingdom. Captain Obvious in the house. Anyway, I enjoyed this. I found this slightly boring at times, and it is mostly character driven, and I was hoping for more plot in this book because I found the first book quite plot heavy and there was a lot going on, but the next two books in the series actually isn't that exciting. It's a lot to do with why the characters are doing what they're doing, what drives them, what led them to where they are. So not a lot happening. They're staying in one place and just basically bickering, arguing, trying to figure things out. So it was entertaining, but not exciting, if I could say it like that. So I think for this book, I'm going to settle on a 3.75. It wasn't quite there. Again, the ending was amazing, which was the same in both the other books. I enjoyed the ending so much, but it took us such a long time to get there. In the beginning, it was like mostly recap, and then the middle bit was just moving really, really slowly, and then at the end everything happens. I thought this was a trilogy. It's actually going to be 5 books, and I understand now why nothing really happened, but at the same time I feel like something should happen in every single book to entice you to read it. But unfortunately, with this cliffhanger, I do want to read the next books because I just want to know what happens, and it took us a really long journey to get there. So I did enjoy it. 3.75, which isn't a bad rating. It's almost a 4. However, I was bored at most of the book. I did read it quite quickly, and like I said, while I wasn't reading the book, I wasn't thinking about it, but while I was reading it, I was enthralled and I was going on this journey with them. It makes me giddy. I feel like the 2 male characters in this book is very reminiscent of Warner and Adam in the Shatter Me series, so I feel like the same story in a different font, put it that way, because Cameron is dark and broody with dark hair, dark eyes. I know Adam had blue eyes in the book, but he also had really dark hair, dark broody. And then we had Warner, who was just like this, basically a psychopath as people described him. Inside was kind of a softie. He had lighter hair, he had green eyes, and the same applies in this book. I feel like she wrote them very similarly to the other 2 characters in Shatter Me, as well as Eliza. I feel like she has the same characteristics as Juliet, who is strong but yet naive and still has so much to learn. They think that they know all these things. They put themselves in danger for no reason. So I feel like it was basically the same character arc, but in a different setting. Just to recap, we started off with Suicide Note from Beautiful Girls by Lynn Weingarten. I can't say her surname. Anyway, I don't think I ever mentioned her name, but this was a YA mystery that I really had fun with. I really did enjoy this. I gave this a 2.75 or 3.75. I can't really remember. Let me double check. Yeah, I gave this a 3.75 as well. I did like it. I had so much fun on this journey, and it's YA, so it's really easy to read and follow. It took me no time at all. I had a good time, like I said, but I don't like open-ended endings. I hate saying that, but I hate open-ended endings, and I feel like the authors should just complete the job and tell us what happens, because I don't want to have to imagine what happens. The ending threw me off, but otherwise it would have been a 4-star because it was really interesting, fast-paced, and it had me literally, I read this in less than 24 hours, so it really had me gripped. But unfortunately the ending just, it didn't do it for me. And then obviously we read These Infinite Threads, which is probably my favorite in the series. This got me so giddy. A little bit more happened. They went on more of an adventure. Like I said, Hazana and Cameron, their banter was just hilarious. And then Eliza forming this kind of alliance / relationship with our third male, I guess he's the third other than Hazana and Cameron. He was our third male character, and she forms this relationship with him, and I really loved seeing that bud and their dynamic, even though they like kind of hated each other, so it was kind of enemies. I don't know if they will end up being lovers. It is the slowest burn story I've ever read, and if you know anything about me, I like things to just happen, because I don't want to spend 5 books waiting for them to actually do anything, like even touch each other. They just completely avoid each other. They hate each other. I don't think they really hate each other. They just misunderstand each other. But yeah, I gave this a 4-star. So really happy with what we managed to read. Obviously with the third book, we didn't get that far in. I think I got to page 125 in this challenge, and then I read the rest in my own time, but I had such a good time. Just to recap as well. So for Thursday, we had 39 pages, which I completed, I think. Yeah, I completed that. Friday we had 68 pages, which I did not complete, and rolled it over to Saturday, which Saturday we had 60 pages. So I had to read 120 pages, which I did complete, but I didn't check in with you guys on Sunday, and I didn't do any reading on Sunday. Monday we read 63 pages, which we completed. Tuesday we were meant to actually read, I just watched my footage back, and we were meant to read 61 pages, but for some reason I checked the same day as I was recording, which was only 54 pages, but we read it. Wednesday we read 59 pages, and then Thursday was meant to be 88 pages, but unfortunately I didn't finish that, so we just ended up finishing the book anyway, so it counts. But that is everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to change things up a little bit and do something a little bit different, because sometimes it's nice to just not read a set TBR or a set of books, because I have like piles on top of my bookshelf that I want to do for videos, and some of them I've thought of already, and they have like really heavy themes, and I just wanted to use this video to have a lot of time to read as well, or a lot of amount of pages to read, and just pick up anything off my bookshelf. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and also let me know down below if there are any books that you would like to see me read, or any type of vlogs that you like to see, or reading vlogs that you like to see. But also let me know if you've read this Woven Kingdom. I've seen a lot of polarizing reviews on it, because some people absolutely love it, some people didn't like it at all, and yeah, because it's very different from, well, the storyline is different from Shatter Me, which was dystopian, and this is fantasy. I think I prefer Shatter Me for sure, but let me know down in the comments your thoughts. But that being said, thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye guys.